So since we have learned how to add modules in the router, now we will learn some basic commands and some basic services like DHCP. So for that I will take a generic router and a generic switch, then two hosts, and I will connect them with the help of cable. So first of all we will skip this process, then I will type enable, then config terminal. Then if you want to set the password on the router, then I will type enable password and then the password, for example Cisco, and we will hit enter. This will set a password on the access mode. So if I type exit and then exit and I hit enter and I type enable, then it will ask me a password. So the problem with this password is that if I type show run command, it will show us the password in plain text form. So what we need to do, we need to encrypt this password. So first we will go to config mode, then I will type enable secret and then the password, that is Cisco, let's say 123, and hit enter. So now what will happen, when I type exit and enable, it will ask me the password. So if I type Cisco, that was our previous password, it will not accept it. The secret password overrides the normal password. So in that case I have to type Cisco 123 and hit enter. Now, and when I type show run command, the password is in encrypted form. As you can see, the enable password is still there and it's in plain text form. So again I will type config terminal. If you want to set the console password, so in real life the routers are accessed with the help of the console port that is available on each router and switch. So what a user takes a console cable, puts its one end into his router and another end on the laptop, and he opens up software for accessing the console port and he accesses the console of the router. Type line console 0 and then here we can configure these much of commands. So here we will type password, then I will type password Cisco or any other password we like and hit enter, then login and hit enter. It will ask for the password. So again, if you want to prevent the user from taking the telnet, we will type a telnet password. So for that, line VTY and then, so first we will exit, then line VTY and then first line number 0 to 4. That means at a single time 5 users can take the console of your router. Then hit enter. Here then again password and we will type the password Cisco or any other password, hit enter and again the login. So now when we try to access the telnet, it will ask us the password. And before that, some basic commands, like if you want to change the host name, I will simply type exit and then the host name, whatever name we want, for example R1. So now the router's name will be changed to the R1. Again we can use the ping command to test the connectivity from one end to another end. So the ping command works in privilege mode, or if you want to run the ping command in configuration mode, I have to type the do and then ping and then the destination IP. Similarly, we can trace the route from source to destination with the help of trace route command, and if you want to run it on config mode, then I have to type do traceroute. So if we are not doing any configuration and the router is idle for a few minutes, then it will exit or log out itself. So in this case we will come to this mode. So if you want to prevent that, we will type then so if you want to prevent that, we have to go to the line console 0 and then we have to type accept timeout and then here the timeouts in minutes. So if I say 0 and hit enter, then it will immediately time out as soon as it gets inactive. So here let's say 10 minutes, then after 10 minutes it will log out itself and it will go to the user access mode. If we are typing a command and a log message has come, so the command will continue along with the log message. So if you want to prevent that, we will use the command logging synchronous in the console mode. So we will go to the line console 0 and we will type logging and synchronous. After this command, if a log message comes up, then the command will be shifted to the next line. It will be a lot more easier for us to see the command. Similarly, if I type any wrong command, it will translate it into the domain server. So if you want to prevent that, I will type no IP domain lookup and hit enter. So what will happen now? If I type any wrong command, it will just give us the error unknown command or computer name. But before, if I type IP domain lookup and hit enter, and again if I type any wrong command, it will translate that message to the domain server. So we can manually break it by pressing Ctrl Shift and 6. So now we will configure the DHCP server on the router. So for that, we will click on the router. So first we need to give an IP address to the fastnet 0/0 port of the router. So interface fastnet 0/0, then IP address 10.0.0.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0, then no shut. Again, now we have to assign IP, DHCP and then pool, and then we have to define a name. So let's say ABC and hit enter. Now we are in DHCP configuration mode. Here we have to assign the network. So in the network we have to give 10.0.0.0 and then hit subnet mask information 255.255.255.0 and hit enter. Again we have to give the default router, then default router will be the IP address of the fastnet 0/0 port of the router. That means from where the DHCP IPs will be provided. So that is the 10.0.0.1 and hit enter. Again, if we have any DNS server in our network, then I have to enter the DNS server and then the IP 4.4.4.4. For example, we can take any IP if we have any DNS server and hit enter. So these are the options that we need to configure. Then type exit. So now what will happen? If I go to IP configuration mode, then I type DHCP, I will get an IP address from 10's network, that is 10.0.0.2, because 10.0.0.1 is already assigned and that will be the default gateway. So any packet will be forwarded to the default gateway, that is fastnet 0/0 port of router. Again we have the DNS server, that is 4.4.4.4, and we have configured it manually. Again we will go to the PC18 and in DHCP mode we will get the IP address. So if due to some reason DHCP stops working, then APIPA works. So for example, if we shut down the fasternet port, let's say interface config T, enable config T, then interface fasternet 2/1 and then shut. So now if I go to PC17 and I send the DHCP request, then the DHCP request will fail and a private IP range from the APIPA will be used. So if DHCP fails, then APIPA gives an IP address to the host. So again we will type no shut and fast forward time, then we will successfully get an IP address. And if you want to exclude some IP addresses for future use, then I will type IP DHCP and excluded address, then low IP, then that is 10.0.0.2 and then high IP, that is 10.0.0.10. This means from 10.0.0.2 up to 10.0.0.10 and hit enter. So now what will happen when I click on IP configuration, static and again DHCP, then the IP ranges from 10.0.0.2 up to .10 will be excluded and I will get the IP address 10.0.0.11. So that is how the DHCP configuration is performed. And there is one more protocol, that is CDP, that is Cisco Discovery Protocol. So CDP gives the information of directly connected networks or the neighbors. So for example, if I go to the interface fasternet 1/0 and I type a IP address 14.0.0.1 to 55.0.0.0 and then no shut, and then I exit and I type so CDP and then neighbors and hit enter. So as you can see, there is a switch connected with the fasternet 0/0 port of the router and the port ID of the switch is fasternet 2/1. So the fasternet 0/0 port of router is connected to the fasternet 2/1 port of the switch, and as you can see the capability is S. So S means switch. Device that is connected on the other end can perform switching, so we know that it is a switch. Similarly, fasternet, there is a switch connected with the fasternet 1/0 port of router. See, local interface means the local interface of device, and the port ID means the interface of the device that is on the other end. So fasternet 1/0 port of router 0 is connected with the fasternet 0/1 port of switch. So with the help of CDP we can draw the diagram of our complete network. In industries, CDP is normally disabled so that not anyone can use CDP and know the network information. That is how CDP works. So in this video we covered the concept of DHCP, CDP and some basic commands. Thank you for watching.